Hello, good friends, and welcome to the Sluggers Predictions Season 4 Playoff Preview Show. This will be the second straight season of running a playoff tournament to determine the season champion. Just like last season, the top 16 players in the cumulative point standings will qualify to be a part of this tourney bracket you can see here. The playoffs will run for the next 4 Monday nights, and I highly encourage all qualifiers to fill out each round's prediction forms as if you will advance. If you end up losing at any point, your submission will be deleted for subsequent rounds, but at least you'd be very well prepared. Anyways, I'm going to first point out that unlike last season, there is no surprise question for the prediction forms playoff edition. I do have a question in mind, but I'm going to save it for next season. I think it's better to start it there instead of the playoffs. Now I'm going to point out which ballparks will be used for the playoffs. As you already know, I have basically grandfathered Luigi's Mansion for the first round, as it will be on the night of Halloween, but the next rounds of ballparks are used based on the highest total points scored amongst only the 16 playoff qualifiers. So after Luigi's Mansion for the first round comes Mario Stadium for the quarterfinals, Bowser Ballparks for the semifinals, and surprisingly enough for the championship round, DK Jungle. So 3 out of 4 ballparks for this season's playoffs are brand new compared to last season. Let's see if we can make it a trend of new playoff ballparks each season. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for, the seedings and pairings for the Season 4 playoffs. We'll go by quadrants again, starting with this one here, working our way up to the top while also down to the bottom. Here we go. The 8 versus 9 looks like this. 8th seed is Michael Boy, who scored 472 points this season. He'll take on 9th seeded TMK16, who scored 470 points. Winner of this will take on the 1v16 winner, which will be revealed a little later on. Next quadrant is this one. 7th seeded King K. Rool gets in this spot, scoring 483 points. He'll face 10th seed Sports Fanatic, who scored 469 points, and was also involved in a first ever 3-way tie for first place back in Week 7. Third quadrant is where we move to now. 6th seeded Mario Man makes it in, scoring 483 points, just like King K. Rool, but won a tiebreaker involving points for runs scored by a margin of 124 to 106. Who does the so-called hacker take on? It'll be 11th seeded Anna Ziska, who scored 465 points. I'm sure many fans will call this an epic showdown, but we'll see what the two of them have to say about it. The fourth and last quadrant is upon us, where both of these matchups will be revealed at once, and here we go. The number 5 seed is last season's regular season champ Jakerno, who scored 486 points on the season. The 12th seed that Jakerno will face is MHL 305, who scored 455 points. Next matchup features these interesting players. The 4th seed is the Wild Arcanine, who dominated this season by being in first place for most of the ride, but fell a few spots after a low-scoring Week 8 performance. Anyways, Arcanine will face a veteran player making his first ever playoff appearance, which is Jeremy is the Boss, scoring 444 points on the season. Let's just say, this season has been quite a turnaround for Jeremy, as he's been a Sluggers predictor from day one and has struggled to win a week for some time before finally breaking through to be a part of that Week 7 3-way tie for first. Alrighty, we are back to the third quadrant as we are getting closer to the top and bottom seeds of the playoffs. The third seeded player is the defending Season 3 champ, Preston, who scored 498 points this season and especially was on fire the last 3 to 4 weeks, finishing at or near the top each week. Can he make another run and win back-to-back championships? Preston will start his quest to repeat versus 14th seeded Kaike Matos, who scored 435 points. Now back to the second quadrant as things get more intensive for some players. The number 2 seed is newcomer Slick Nick, who finished his inaugural season of picks scoring 507 points, which may be tough to break for any newcomer after him. Nick will face 15th seeded Cage, who scored 433 points. Cage comes into the playoffs in a limping way as he struggled down the stretch of the season after such a fast start. Can he rebound and score big? Okay, we made it back to the very first quadrant. Who is the regular season champ for Season 4 and who is the last player in? The number 1 seed is another newcomer by the name of Petey Piranha 2.0, who, just like Slick Nick, scored 507 points, but won the total captain's tiebreaker 8-6. Petey will be the recipient of the $20 eShop credit for having the most points at regular season's end. Who is Petey facing? I know this person has been anxious the past couple weeks because it was weeks of hanging on or trying to get back in. It will be 16th seeded Yoshi Bros, who scored 431 points. Yes, Yoshi, you made it in, so you can breathe. I hope I didn't make your face blue the whole time you were watching this. And so, there's the 16 qualifiers. I'll next go ahead and list off the players who just missed the field, either barely or just had no chance at all. I gotta say, Bowser fan, you dug yourself a very deep hole you just couldn't get out of all season. So I hope you'll come back even stronger for next season. The rest of you on this list, I want to say thank you for your participation, and I hope to see you again for Season 5, but I hope you'll stick around and cheer on the players who will be competing for the Season 4 championship. Here is the playoff bracket in full. We'll begin the playoffs this Monday night at Luigi's Mansion, so be sure if you are a qualifier to get your picks in before the stream begins, or else your opponent may win by default. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Monday night for Round 1.